What's going on, guys? Um, I got some splaining to do. Uh, let's put it like this, guys. I don't talk about this much anymore because people call me crazy. But people have been calling me crazy all my life. Still calling me crazy today. But I was being told, if you guys want to go back on my videos, you'll see a video named Gary Knight / Oh Darn. Now, Gary Knight comes from deep, deep into my past. Oh darn didn't. I promised oh darn I would not block him, and I didn't. Gary Knight I blocked. Now both these guys were basically denying God, claiming math was science. And Gary Knight went many steps further with attacks on me. Now, both of these guys wanted attention, and I gave it to them. Things are changing with oh darn, whatever the reason be, what I've said, what he said, whatever. It doesn't even matter. But I don't even know who that guy is. Or I don't even know if it's a guy or a woman. All I know is a handle. See, a lot of these guys, they got an advantage on me because I know them by a handle. But people, all I use is this little phone I got here. If you got a picture of you as right next to your handle on YouTube, I don't see it. I can't see it. I'd have to blow it up. I don't know what I'd have to do to be able to see it. I can't see it. It's too small, even with these glasses. So, I don't know who or what oh darn is. I know where he came from. I know how he found out about me. And I know how Gary Knight did. Now he said some things that it was an attack on me. Wasn't no big deal, but the one thing I won't stand for is mocking of God. The Most High. Father. I will not. I got a father. I'll talk crap about him all day long. All day long. I know everybody else got a father. And if your father wasn't worth a crap, I'll talk crap about them just as well. I will not talk crap about the Father in heaven. He is the Father of us all. He made us all. We're all made in the way He wanted us. Now, we might have chosen different paths when we were given the chance to than what He would have chose for us. But we're all the people He put us here to be. We're all. If we're not following the path He gave us, then we were still put here by Him, folks. He gave us free will. You go one side, you go one way or the other. The only two-party paradigm that I will ever join or be a part of, folks, is good and evil. That's the only two-party paradigm that I'll ever be a part of. Your democracy, your Republicans and Democrats, your rigged elections, your false governments, your all the other crap, you can have it. I will agree with you on one thing. There is only good and bad, good and evil. And that leads to where we are today. Now, like I said, folks, I was asked by God. I wasn't asked anything, to be honest with you. I was told to release. I had Gary Knight blocked because I know what he's willing to do, how far he's willing to go. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt, ticket stub. So I was like, all right, I ain't going to question nothing. Not when it comes from God, the Holy Spirit, or even Jesus Christ trying to guide me. I ain't going to argue. I went straight to his channel and I unblocked him. Didn't take him long, and he realized it. And he took a shot, whatever it was. If you guys go back and look, you can read them. He took a shot at me, and I just basically said, look, you can say whatever you want about me. Don't mock God. Don't come on my channel mocking God. The next time I won't unblock you. I was asked to unblock you. The next time I won't. Well, everything's being all right. As a matter of fact, he came on my channel today. Gave me a big old shout out. Oh, I want you guys to give Gary Knight a shout out. All of you. He don't even know it. He don't even know when God's working him. He don't even know it. He come on, I think my last video, and he was saying something about, it didn't even have nothing to do with the video, I'm sure. And he said something about, what was it? Let's tell everybody that follows you how long you was in the Army. Brian, I heard it was only 3 weeks. Prove me wrong. That was his comment. You can read my comment, but it was pretty much, there ain't nobody on the internet or anywhere else that can claim I ever claimed I was a veteran. I never claimed it because I know as well as everybody else that's earned that title in this country had to do at least 160, at least 160, 180 days, something like that, folks. I've never told you I did that long. I've never told anybody in any video that I am a veteran or I was even in long enough to be a veteran. You can go on this channel right here. If you look through the 150 damn videos I got, I bet in 20 of them, I've made this exact claim. As a matter of fact, it pissed me off when they sent me home. It pissed me off to the point that as soon as I got to my house, they flew me in by plane to Fort Sill. When they sent me home with medical, I got a medical discharge under honorable conditions. And they sent me home on a bus. 3 days from Oklahoma, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. By the time I got home, I was pissed. My car's sitting there. I loaded it with everything I had. I'm getting the hell out of Greenwood, Indiana. That's why I went into the Army was to get away from Greenwood, Indiana. And when they wouldn't keep me, I got my car and went to Florida and ended up all over the country. Now, Gary Knight wants you to believe I've been lying to you. He wants you to believe that I was just, I don't know what he wants you to believe by saying I was only in the military for 3 weeks. Okay, let's say 3 weeks. Let's say that's the true number, 3 weeks. If I just left after 3 weeks, oh, I don't like this. This isn't for me anymore. I'm just going home. Would they have given me a medical discharge under honorable conditions, or would they have gotten me for being AWOL? This shit don't even make sense. This is what I'm being attacked with, folks. From my past. Deep past. You can't outlive your past, folks. But anyway, I want you all to welcome him, Gary Knight, to the channel. He's going to be another one of my shadow followers, because he won't sub. It ain't changed since he started following me. So I know he's not going to sub. But what he will do is prove to you that I've been telling you the truth. That's why God wants him back on my channel. He's going to prove what I'm saying to be true about my past. He's going to help. But, people, I know you guys on this channel, you don't want to hear about this shit. You don't want to hear about this shit. That's why I made up another damn channel. I made up another damn channel for this. Folks, PopPop MD. I'm PopPop. And I do metal detect. I do magnet fishing. I do deer fishing. I do all kinds of shit, folks. Don't believe me? I got 6 channels to prove it. You got to figure out which 6 are mine. But I'm going to give you, in the description of this one, I'm going to give you the link to my damn PopPop MD channel. I want you there. You guys, you know what? Help me. Help you. I'm going to show you history. Oh, yeah. But I'm going to tell you something. Just because you guys don't want to really hear about this, you guys are political and about wood and trees and barbecuing and baseball and apple pie and Chevrolet shit. I don't drive no damn Chevrolet. That's a damn Jeep over there, folks. I'm going to show you something. For those of you on this channel, I've talked about it a couple times, showed you several things, and I want to tell you something. I think I have shown proof of an old trail, stagecoach shit trail, mail stagecoach trail. I got the evidence to prove it. I've been working on a place. It wasn't that. All I was looking for was from some shit went on around 1911, early 1900s to about 1930s. That's the stuff Watachi was, PopPop was looking for. Wait till you see what I found. Now I gotta give you a little bit of rundown. 15 minutes. You guys ain't gonna watch this. Anyway, everything around here dates from about 1750s to early 1800s as far as cities and states being founded. Ohio, where I'm at, wasn't even founded as a state until 1803. Oh, yeah. Right outside of Pittsburgh, right outside of Philadelphia, right outside of all the New England states. Ohio was right there. Where I sit, we're sitting between Pittsburgh, which was founded. You guys got to understand what founded means. Corporation founded, which means there had to be at least 25,000 people in that city before it could have been founded as a corporational state. 1750 something in Pittsburgh. Cleveland, 17, I think, is 96. Youngstown, Ohio, 1796. Same time as Cleveland. Now, you run a little map. There's only a couple of ways. Going from Pittsburgh to Cleveland. Cleveland's on the Lake Erie, folks. Oh, shit. Cleveland's big time. That's people in Pittsburgh needed Cleveland. All kinds of shit happened in Youngstown, folks. Mafia. All kinds of shit. Over the years. Oh, yeah. Same time they were building Vegas. Youngstown was being built. If you know anything about Youngstown, we're talking a lot of iron ore. A lot. You think Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania was known for iron, steel factories and shit? No, they were too. But Youngstown, Ohio was major steel factories. World War I, World War II shit. Before that, all these cities that line up coming right through between Pittsburgh and Cleveland. It doesn't matter how far. Let's go down to Columbiana up to Springfield, you come right on up through Boardman, Youngstown, Girard, Liberty area, freaking right on into Warren and Niles area, right on into Cleveland. It's a colonial path. It's a path that Indians were following, not colonial. Colonials didn't build it. Indians built that path. It cost more to run up the river, but you could run up the river straight out of Pittsburgh, straight into Cleveland. If you had money. If you didn't have money, you went across the dirt. There, in 18, it was 18, shit, I can't remember now. Like, it wasn't long after the Ohio became a state. There was 4 companies. One of them was called Pioneer Stage. 3 other companies other than that one was running stagecoach to runs from Pittsburgh to Cleveland. 30 hours. 30 hours to run by stagecoach. And part of it, you got down somewhere around here where we are, and you would the stagecoach would take you to a boat, and because Pittsburgh, folks, has a river that runs through it, and the people would get on a boat from about here and ride on into Pittsburgh. But it was a 30-hour trip. 30 hours. It was 4 stagecoach lines that were fighting for that route. They didn't have their own trails running through the woods. They were running the same trails, folks. They had to have places along the line to swap horses, maybe even drivers, feed the people, let them go to the bathroom, whatever. Then things had to have stops. They had to have people that were en route to protect those stagecoaches and shit in case they were robbed and shit. They were carrying mail. They were carrying cash, gold, whatever. You guys all know this shit. I ain't telling you nothing different. It came all right up through where I'm at right now. All this shit. The War of 1812. All this shit happened up in here, folks. History is deep in the ground around here. Arizona was another whole ball game. It wasn't in the ground. It was laying on top of the ground, the history out there, the pottery, the fucking, all the stuff I found out there. It was laying on top of the ground or in a cave or in a mine. It wasn't deep in the ground, 8, 10, 12 inches. No. Now, I've went on about this long enough. I got a lot of history and shit I could tell you. But I want to talk about a few things real quick that I found. And I've had to research because I found these things. Chains go back to 3000 BC, whether it be chains on wrists and ankles or chains on necklaces and shit. 3000. Pliers, 2500 BC, folks. This is shit I'm finding out. Pipe wrenches. 1860 was the first patent in America. Wrenches, they go back. First wrenches were wooden because they only had wooden nuts, basically. So they had wooden wrenches. They go back way back. Horseshoes, folks, come on. They got all different. I think it's like 4,000, back to 4,000 AD is how far horseshoes go back. So, and they started off as leather straps just being wrapped around the hoof of the horse. Stagecoach trails. This is shit I've had to look up. Population of cities in order to become founded as a city. Like Youngstown, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, shit. When the laws were laid out, the Constitution, whatever was laid out, they had to have 25,000 people in the city to file to become a city in order to be found as a city. At least 25,000. Now, 25,000 people didn't move in there over a 10-year period. It probably took, maybe a couple of generations to build up to 25,000 people in order to have a city. Nails, folks. Nails were used as currency. They were so few and far between in this country, in America, when it was founded and shit, that they were using them as currency. People would come here with nails and trade for pork and supplies and shit that they needed to move on to wherever they were going. They would use nails. Nails, folks. There's several different kinds of nails. There's hand forged nails. There's what they call cut nails. There's wire nails that are being used today. Basically, is all we use today. The way they came up with if you got a 8-penny nail, a 10-penny nail, 16-penny nail, people. The way that came about is when these nails were being invented and shit was happening, an 8-penny nail went for 8 pennies. A 10-penny nail went for 10 pennies. A 16-penny nail went for 16 pennies. That's how they come up with that. Stupid knowledge that I've had to come up with. Now, I want to tell you, a cut nail, I've showed you these. I made these myself. This is the box of them right here, if you don't believe me. It's just like a cut nail. You can throw this sucker on the ground any way you want. That sucker will land point up. If you look at it, folks, see it? It is a single sheet of steel. 1/8-inch thick steel. I cut it in, I cut the half marks in first, and then I cut it off. Then I bent and twisted these things into where you could throw them on the ground, and they would always be pointing up. They'd puncture a tire if somebody's chasing you. You can use these things. You can strap them to tree limbs and set them up to smack somebody in the face for a perimeter. You could put them on, attach them to wood, and if somebody steps on them, bear steps on them. These things are ancient weapons. I taught myself how to make them. Find out later, it's the same way they were making these cut nails. I've got a bunch of different nails. I've got handmade nails, cut nails, and shit that I'm finding on this trail, folks. This property I've been allowed on, they think it's early 1900s. I got more shit pointing at Civil War, the mid 1860s to early 1800s to even 1700s, and the horseshoes. I've been told by a blacksmith, as far as he's concerned, they're extremely old. I asked him about the Civil War. Are they old enough to be? At the least, he claimed 1700s, but the oldest ones, and I'll show you, they could be as far back as 1600s. I found all this on a trail, probably about 30 feet to 60 foot wide at the most, 30 yards wide at the most, that runs across 8.6 acres. Or I'd have to split that in half. This is 8.6 acre lot that's square. So that runs straight across at least half that. People, that's about 5-6 yards, or acres. 5 or 6 acres. About 4.5 acres if you're cutting across the block. Now, I don't have access to on the other side of the fence on either end, north or south, and that's the way I figure this trail runs. But everything that I'm getting ready to show you, about 70% of it came through this trail that I'm calling the Watachi Trail. Now, I'm going to show you something, then I'm going to come back here. Come around here. Okay, guys. Now, I've tried to line this up to show you the different things that I have found. Now, we're going to start over this way. This thing, right here, this big old thing, it's a hitch pin. This thing, I use it like an anvil. This thing is solid. It's heavy as hell. Got a spring back here, some other kind of connection. Now, all this stuff, folks, you got to understand, this thing, all this stuff had all kinds of corrosion on it, just like this object right here. This is the buckle, but I want to show you all this stuff had this kind of shit on it. I put it against here and I took a hammer to it and knocked all this crap off of this stuff so you can see what it was. Now, we're going to go right here. These are nails, different kinds of nails and screws and bolts. I'm going to start right here. These are hand-forged square nails. There's no doubt. This is one, maybe even this one, I'm not for sure. But these are hand-forged. This, I think, is a hand-forged screw. These are what we call cut nails. And you can see, well, I don't know if you can see it, but look at the points on this thing. These points were grinded, shaped, just like I did those spikes that I was just showing you. But look at these points on them. Now, these are bolts, and look at the heads. There are threads down here. If you look, you can see the threads, but look at the heads. These are hand-pounded threads. This one here's got a nut on it, but it's square-headed, and it's a square nut. This is a hand-forged bolt here. This is just a pin. I don't know how old it is. I don't think it's very old. But we go back here. These are iron pins, laying here. Sheets. Now, these could have been something you made nails out of. See how thin it is? You could just cut off a piece right here, real thin piece, and make a nail out of it. That's what I think some of these sheets were, especially this one, because it's the size of what a small nail could have been. I mean, I'll pick up one here. See that right there? Lay that nail on there. And it wouldn't take much to just cut off a piece there. That's what a cut nail is. Like I said, a spring. There's some kind of a connector here. Whatever it could have been. A big old nut. Some more plating that I found. This one's got a big hole in it. But you can see the corrosion on it. A lot of this stuff had this. This here, folks, is a buckle. You can see the stud that comes through the middle here that would go into your leather part. This is a buckle, and I got that one sitting there. Okay. This is how corroded this stuff is that I'm finding. All of it, all of this stuff, like that right there. Look at that big hunk of metal with a big square hole right to the top of it. This is how I'm finding it. Here's some kind of hunk of steel. It's about a 1/4 inch thick. It just stuff I found. There's a hunk of copper, a hook, handles. I mean, there's all kinds of shit, folks. Okay, we're going to back up here a little bit. Here's the tools. Got a pipe wrench, 2 pair of pliers, and a regular wrench. Anyone want to tell me how old this shit is? We got chains. There's a handmade chain. There's another one right next to it. A lot smaller links. Piece of old bob wire. This here, folks, I think is some kind of a hanger. Whether it be gutter or flower hanger or something, you could see the ends, how different they are. You can tell they're handmade. Old whistle. Pencil, found that. There's a spike. Modern day spike I found out on that property. Some kind of sheet metal. That sheet metal right there, people, it may look like it's aluminum. That's some strong ass shit. It's not aluminum. This handle right there going up and over is a Model A hand crank. Start a car with. Right there's some kind of wheel bearing cap. A couple of different things over there. Now we're going to get to these horseshoes. Right in here, this shoe, I want to start with this. This is machine made, early 1900s. It was found on the property where the jockeys stayed that raced at the Southern Park harness racing track. This was a machine-made horseshoe. You can tell. It had never been put on. It was found in an attic back in the corner of the attic of an old barn that existed at the time of the track. These horseshoes, I know nothing about. This one here was one I found today. It's still got nails in it. I don't know how old they are. Have nothing to go off of. I know I've been told they're definitely not early 1900s. We'll go 1800s. Some of my horseshoes have already given away. This one here, as you can see, it's got what they call a steel toe up on the front. This come out during the Civil War. Before that, from what I found, they did not have that on horseshoes. Now we get up in this area here. These are the horseshoes that I've been told are definitely 1700s, could be 1600s. This is a piece of one. As you can see, it fits there at the top. It's real thin. I mean, this shit's real thin, folks. This is a side of one here. Fits on here. This one here is not my best one, but you can see how thin it is and how it's bent. I've got another one that my son's got now that I gave him that was in a lot better shape. These are smaller ones, but they've got the same shape going as these. If you look at them with the hook on the one side. But I broke these as I was pulling them out of the ground. I broke both of them myself. But those are the older ones. Now I got one more thing to show you folks. I know it's been long. Let me get back over here. The best find I've had so far. And the only reason I'm even giving this channel anything to know about it. I wasn't even going to go today. I wasn't even going to go. And I said, well, hell with it. You know what? I'm going to go over there, just spend a couple hours clearing a place I've been questioning. And it's a part of my track. I keep telling you guys, I've got the Watachi Trail coming up through this property. That's what I've named it. Look, folks, get a real good look at it. Now, this is the way I pulled it out of the ground, okay? Now, I got a little small shovel. Take a real good look. What's that right there? What's that right there? What's that down here on this end? But I pulled it up solid like that, one piece. And I put it in my hand. And I was tapping on it with a shovel, trying to knock some of the loose shit off. And this happened. Now I want to show you. Look, if you don't think that's man-made and that that's a gun, I don't know what to tell you. Look at that top corner on it, how sharp that edge is. This is how long this gun's been in the ground, folks. Right there's the edge, the top edge up here. Sharp edge. It went together. I'm going to put it back together and I'm going to show you something else. Look at that right there. You can see where the trigger came down. You can see the handle. This is all handle, folks. This thing is an old gun. It is. Ain't no doubt about it. Look at the squareness of that. I'm showing you. That's where the trigger would have been. Now the trigger's no longer there. Or not the trigger, the hammer. Right in there. Trigger, I don't know if it had a trigger guard on it. I don't know what all this is. Maybe this is black powder and ball loading shit. I don't know. You guys tell me. What else? What else could it be? That's definitely the handle of a gun. You guys, God loves you. I do many things. I could tell people I could move today to another state and start telling people what I've done only in this state, what I went through, the things I've done, from finding that gun right there to fighting the government. And people call me, oh, bullshit, you're full of shit. Nobody does that shit. Well, I got people on this channel that'll prove it. They just hide in the dark. Come on out. Prove what I'm saying. God loves you guys. I love you too. Pray for y'all. Find the way. If you haven't yet, find the way. Till next time.